Probably should.
Yes.
Yeah, it just clicked up.
Audio is live.
Fucking song stuck in my head.
It's not.
Well, it kicked away from hosting D20, so I think.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Just got to notify. There we go. Video is rolling.
Yeah, and seems like our audio is working.
There it goes.
Sweet. Hi, welcome. This is us. I'm going to be the worst host ever, but I'm going to try.
These are our faces.
These are our faces. Hello. I'm going to give it just a few seconds to have more people hop on, and then we'll get started.
Casey, stop messaging me.
Actually, here we go. Here's our announcement. Okay. So this is us. And Victoria, you're the best. Well, this is Mad Bird Squawks, which is our D&D therapy for the week, where we ask questions, you get answers, and you drink wine or you don't drink wine, whatever. But we're just a delightful bunch, and I mean that. It wasn't. I try not to come off sarcastic, but anyways. So I'm gonna hush. I think what we're going to do just to start is kind of go around and introduce yourselves in case people don't already know who you are, what characters you play, which night, and how long you've been playing D&D. So I'm going to kind of go off of Twitch. Zach, we'll start with you.
Yeah, my name is Zach. I play Ren on Monday night during the Forsaken. That's the only character I play for this channel. But D&D for me, I've actually only been playing D&D I played one maybe 6 months campaign before this. So when Steph asked if anybody would be interested in joining, I said yes and told her I was a baby D&D player, and she said sounds great. So I'm new to it all.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I play Silver in the Forsaken on Mondays. I play Emercina and Devanya in Stormfall on Fridays. And then I play Mr. Loth in Court of Thorns on Saturdays. And I've been playing for 3 years now.
And Frank?
This is Frank. Franco, depending on your pension. Let's see. I'm in the Monday campaign, Forsaken, as Tegan. And Friday campaign as Mortimer. And I played briefly in the 90s, early 90s, with a bunch of high school buddies. Then our main DM sort of like went away, and so I was going through D&D withdrawal. So this is helping me cope with my D&D withdrawal. So kicking it back in.
That's amazing. And in case you don't know, I am Tasha / Lady Queen, whatever you want to call me. I play Elzaris in Obsidian Scar, which is on Sundays, and Thaxel, which is on Tuesday in the Kira's Lament group. I think I've been playing for about 4 years now. Started with a local D&D group, and now I'm in 4 campaigns now. 2 of them on hold because in real life doesn't happen right now. So I'm very thankful for our online groups. But okay. Steph was nice enough to send us a crap ton of questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with those. I am not going first. So let's start with Zach.
Oof.
Ooh. Okay. Since you were the last group to play on stream, what has surprised you the most about role-playing Ren?
Partly, I think what surprises me the most as I play him is, I mean, partly obviously it's part of D&D in general, but like I genuinely came in with a rough idea of who he was and what he wants to be and become. And in my mind, he was this like happy-go-lucky guy that just would be like kind to everybody and not hurt anybody or anything like that. And the more I play, the more I'm finding that he does have a goal, but he's more like, he's not as happy-go-lucky as in my brain as I thought he would be, that he's much more wants to make sure things are done well, and doesn't want to do, he's not flippant or crazy, but as much as in my mind, I thought he was going to be that way. And it's more interesting as I play him to be like, oh, this is not who you're becoming, but it's fun.
That's awesome. I just realized that the rest of y'all all play together, and I don't play with any of y'all yet. I mean, I will next week with Melissa, hopefully. But yeah, I just thought that was, I just noticed that. Okay. Let's see. Frank.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is an interesting question, and I'm pretty sure, yes, Steph did ask this for several of our characters. So we'll start with you first. Who do you think would win in a brawl, Mortimer or Tegan?
At their current places now, it would be Tegan would be hardly pressed to because Mortimer would just light them up.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, a level 3 rogue going up against a level 15 wizard. Yeah, he's in for a hard.
I mean, if level didn't matter.
It all depends who wins initiative. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's say a level 3 wizard versus a level 3 Tegan, it goes the other way. Because, you're pretty much made of glass at level 3 for a wizard.
I've only played a wizard briefly and decided that was not my favorite, but I love watching you play your wizard. Do you find one character particularly challenging to play over the other?
Yeah, Mortimer is he was my first character getting back into it, so his backstory's, to be honest, is a little weak. And I'm finding myself trying to struggle for, the deeper stuff in Mortimer, So I've sort of like concentrated on the lighter stuff with him, just like he's the guy that like just wants to, get the job done and then like, go back and have a few whiskeys and not worry about it. So yeah, I still struggle with trying to find some deeper resonance with Mortimer. Tegan's another story. He's got some quiet but very forceful tides running underneath him.
Amazing, love it. Let me see, Melissa. I'm gonna ask you next. Let's see. Oh, I thought you had the same question as okay. I'm going to ask you a question, and then I will do the same question that I just asked Frank. Let's do Silvera. Okay, for Silvera, what does she think of Gimbal after he made such a big deal about the sacrificial altars in Bornheim?
she's kind of annoyed by him right now. Stop asking questions and let's just get the hell out of here. Is pretty much what she's thinking.
Amazing.
She's just annoyed, honestly. So, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. She just doesn't want to stick around for too long. She's like ready to go. So, I mean, that's why she had to kneel down and whisper to him the things that she did and, you know, be like, hey, we'll talk about this later. But right now, this is not our main concern, okay? This is not our problem.
She's ready to get the effing main quest.
For real.
Too many side quests, man.
Too many.
Too many.
We will.
And Gimbal loves them all.
Yeah, he is
That is
just
so true.
wide-eyed and, you know, just wants to solve the world's problems.
I have to know everything, but it's also what's kind of great about his character.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Let's see. So Steph had asked me who would win in a brawl, Thaxel or Elzaris. And my first instinct was to say Thaxel because she's a tank if she really wanted to, and she has all those extra hit points, and like I could totally see her crawling all over Elzaris, only because Elzaris is lower level, but if level wasn't a thing, I would have to probably say Thaxel because knowing Elzaris' backstory, she's still learning the real world, and Thaxel's all about survival, so I'm pretty sure she would totally beat up Elzaris. And do I find one character more challenging to play than the other? The biggest challenge for me would be it's hard to play more than one character on stream. It's hard to keep them separated because I know we talked about this last night. My Thaxel shows sometimes on Sundays, but I don't think Alex has shown up in Cures at all because it's just so easy for me to get into Thaxel's mindset. So I don't know. I think that would be the biggest issue is to try to keep them separated. But in that, I love playing both. Zach, will Ren take Gimbal's suggestion on names for his wolf? You have a wolf?
I just got her. She came to me in a dream and then in real life on Monday. I will consider the names. Will the names actually succeed at being any the actual name? Well, you'll come on Monday and you'll have to find out.
Oh.
I mean, probably not.
Yes.
Some of them are really good suggestions. They're just not what's probably going to win out.
Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and ask you again, Zach, because we got some more questions coming in.
No worries.
What does Ren think about all that is happening in the Forsaken right now, especially when it comes to the big parties like the college, the Mages of the Crown, the Pact, etc.?
Yeah.
And do you trust any of them?
I think Ren is like trying to act like he can follow it and understand it, but is at the same time like a kind of, I guess, in a sense, a parallel to me. Kind of like someone starting to play a really dense game for the first time is like, oh yeah, I understand everything that's going on, and at the same time, we're like, wow, this is all what I don't even know. So to Ren, he's a new adventurer. He has no idea. He's now left Mossvale and is wanting to become this great ranger, and all this is going down. And so, I mean, he's taking it because he wants to succeed and he wants to be that grand adventure. But it's also probably in his psyche, he's overwhelmed by it a lot. Do I trust any of them? If I were to trust any of them right now, it would be the Pact over the Wizards and all that. They just seem to be, I mean, I don't know. They haven't done anything yet to cause me to doubt them. Whereas obviously you got the college putting crystals in people and hurting Wineta and all that. And well, we haven't learned much about the cities that are trying to fly yet, so we'll see with that. But I trust the pact, but who knows really?
Interesting. And then one more.
Yeah.
Are there any party members besides Gimbal that Ren has particularly gotten close to?
Well, it's only been 3 days in our campaign, so closeness is relative. I think in oh, bye Frank. I think in the mind of Ren, of anybody, he probably slightly looks up to Tegan because he sees that he's good at hiding and he's good at he seems wise with his choices. And I think even in like, I don't remember what episode or night, like Ren kind of gets to Tegan and kind of says, "Hey, how am I doing? Like, is this okay? Like, am I succeeding as a ranger?" And so in my mind, Tegan is the one he's kind of drawing towards in a way, but also Kazeel a little bit because Kazeel's a little bit in that direction too. But probably that so far.
Awesome. It's amazing. Let's see, Melissa. Okay, focusing on Silvera again. Did she catch that Renarius saw Jocelyn in his dream?
Yes. And internally, she's freaked out about it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Good. And does Silvera think that Regina is still alive? Inquiring minds want to know.
Honestly, no. She thinks that, I mean, there's been so many things that have happened that she's like, I mean, we're on this thing. We're not even to the thing yet. So like, I mean, the percentage possibility to her is like, I don't even think she's like, I mean, she'll finish it with everybody else, but like, she doesn't think that she's still alive.
All right. Let's see. Frank. Do you want Mortimer or Tegan? Which one do you want to focus on first?
I was going to roll, but my dice are perfect. Let's go with Tegan. Tegan. Yeah.
Okay.
Roll a dice for everything now in our life choices.
Yes.
Why not? I mean, why not? Okay, so what character or characters from another Mad Bird Streams campaign, or any party, do you think Tegan would get along with? And who would he also not like?
That's an excellent question.
So first one, who would he get along with? And second, who would he probably just hate?
From Kier's Lament, probably Thaxel because of her intensity.
Cool, thanks.
When it comes down to things, some things, yeah, he's very intense over some things, only some things. Obsidian Scar, oh dear. Probably for the same reason, Steph's character, Ilana, I guess, is the proper pronunciation.
Oh, Ileana, yeah.
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 Because, Tegan's just, he's down to business. He's got to... It's weird because his intelligence isn't that high. It's more of wisdom and like, what's the phrase? I've seen some shit. So it's like when other people are like you see, man, I felt good and I felt bad when I like kind of clamped down on Gimbal after the whole thief thing. It's like, you don't know what happens to people, who go down this path and what can happen to people that go down this path. So, so he's trying to like let me. You really wanted to straighten that girl out. But yeah, so.
And then you would think, so he would hate Ileana?
Oh no, no, well no, because Ileana's kind of intense, and I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you think that Tegan wouldn't like? I know there's so many to choose from.
Yeah, probably Aga, because he's probably going to see what Aga's about, and like,
Oh, yeah.
I ain't making no deal.
I could totally see that. Yes.
Yeah. Obsidian. That's interesting. Probably Derek, because he's so chaotic. It would be very frustrating for Tegan to constantly grabbing Derek's head and look forward this way, point gun at enemy.
Oh, I love Derek's character. It's so great. Okay. I'm trying to go in a big circle. Let's see. Okay, how much of yourself, this is for me, how much of yourself are in your two characters, Thaxel and Elzaris? Well, I'm not a fancy bitch, so not so much Elzaris. I don't live don't come from royalty or anything like that. I mean, I would like to be a little bougie, so that, yeah, I love my reusable to-go cups to, save the earth and whatever. So that's probably the extent of me and Elzaris. And then Thaxel, oh man, the more I play her, I'm like, am I really kind of like her, except the evil part? Because I don't see myself as evil. I'm not evil. But I'm also very not spontaneous. I'm not spontaneous. I don't like betraying people or having it all be about me. I don't know. That's hard. Oh, I will say I love wolves. So can I say that's me and Thaxel are connected in that way, that I really love wolves and she was raised by wolves? Yeah. Okay. That's what we're going to go with. Okay. Let's see. Zach.
Yeah.
My notes are all over the place. What are your hopes for Ren as a character?
Probably, well, his big goal in life is just to become a great ranger, obviously. But I think he has a grudge right now with some people from his past having to do with what his dreams are. And I think my desire for him is to get to a point where he's no longer seeking what he wants just to prove a point, but that it's this realization of it's hard to explain and that I can think of it. I know it in my brain. It's hard to put it into words, but that transition of when you've held on to something for so long and then realize afterwards, oh, I didn't need to let that control me like I did, kind of idea.
Awesome. Sorry, I was copying and pasting stuff. Okay, Melissa. This is questions about Mist. How is Mist feeling after being brought back from the brink of death last episode? What the hell?
Technically, she died and got brought back. Yeah, so I rolled my damage rolls and it was more than double her hit points, but She how does she feel being brought back?
Yes.
Very grateful, considering how much of a asshole she actually is. But like she's very grateful. Yeah. Relieved.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
Very relieved.
Very good answer. Was she surprised to be visited from a messenger of the Raven Queen, or did she kind of expect it?
She's so cocky and prideful that she honestly didn't even think of it at first, so she wasn't expecting it. When the figure arrived, she was like kind of not paying attention for the first part, and then when things started to get serious, she was like, "Oh shit, okay, yeah." So no, she wasn't expecting it.
Well, speaking of not expecting things, was she surprised to be brought back to life? And given her race and history, if given a choice, would she have chosen to be brought back from the dead?
She was surprised that her group members helped her, help bring her back. Because she's a Shatterkai, and being a follower of the Raven Queen, it's all about like respecting death and this, that, and the other thing. But for her, because of certain things in her backstory, there's certain things that she's scared of. So she honestly would not want to be dead, surprisingly, which is odd for a Shatterkai. Like, she would not want to accept death at this moment for what she wants to achieve later on. So, yeah.
Right. And let's see, last question from Steph as far as Mist. Is she feeling any different about her party members after last week's episode?
She has okay, to preface this, she's basically a little 5-foot little shit to everybody in the group. No matter if they were nice to her or not. So like complete 180 from my real life personality, but it's so fun to play her. So now she actually for the first time verbally apologized to everybody when she was brought back. And she never does that. She has respect for everybody now. Like she is like, okay, that was too close. Thanks guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, she has a lot more respect. She has respect for everybody now in the group.
I'm just glad you're not dead. We don't need any more character deaths for at least a year.
God, it's been crazy.
Looking at you die in DMs.
Come on, DMs, get it together.
Oh, just too much. Okay. Let's see, Frank. I think I'm gonna going to try like move things along because Steph is amazing and gave us so many good questions. I'm gonna ask you the rest of the ones she had for Tegan, and then I'll move on to what she asked me, and then just kind of I'm playing. This is fine. This is my first time hosting. This is fine.
Doing great.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. Okay, Frank, if Tegan could be in any other Mad Bird campaign, what campaign would you like to see that happen?
Probably Obsidian Scar.
Ooh, why? Because we have a cat.
more, I guess, because of the general, I don't want to say attitude, or I guess, Kyr's lament is like, he would probably, he doesn't talk, he's got issues with people who do butthole things.
It's not easy being evil, but
No, I
it
appreciate the work
works.
you guys put into it. I mean, well, I don't know if it's not being easy because it's like your palette is opened up wide. It's like
It's
I
true.
can do anything I want.
It's true.
But yeah, probably because it's not not a heavy because of Obsidian Scar. It's more like not so much Gears Lament.
I mean, it's still a good answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Has anything surprised you about role-playing Tegan?
Yeah. I was the whole finger thing. I just sort of reacted, and Steph was just pushing Tegan's buttons. He's like, so what do you do? I cut his finger off, just like as cold and as quick as you can please. It's like
that escalated.
Yeah, because Krieg was being a real asshole. So he's like, you had enough. Yeah, you hit my limit. Plus, he was sort of at that point in time, he was like hyper, like he saw this opportunity. Great, we got something of value that we can exchange. And he was like, and that's why he was like really perturbed when Turbo killed the guy with one punch. I'm like, this is our hostage. What are you doing? Oh God. So he was really like laser focused on like, okay, we got to chip. We got to, we finally got to, otherwise, because all other scenarios were just like, impossibility stacked upon impossibility. It's like, oh, this is like one little ray of light. We might be able to, work something out with this. So it was like, and when, he's just not cooperating, it's like, I gotta escalate, I gotta ramp this up.
Amazing. Okay, so I think this is something similar to what I asked, or what Steph had asked Zach earlier. What does Tegan think of everything happening in the Forsaken campaign currently? Especially regarding the Mage College, the Mages of the Circle, the Pact. So I'll let you answer that first, and then there's a follow-up question.
At first, at the very beginning of the campaign, it was sort of like, okay, this is just a job. This is just a search and rescue, find this person. But, having the veil pulled back a little bit and seeing the nature of things, it's like it's sort of in his motivational wheelhouse. He's like, his whole thing is good versus evil, and that, evil doesn't discriminate. You can have a pauper who'll slit your throat for a copper, or, and you'll have a rich person who will be very, pleasant and, helpful to people. And it's like, so it's not about status. It's not about race. It's just, if he's looking to reinforce the good and eliminate the evil. So all that's right. Why, yeah.
Well, does he trust anyone regarding what's going on?
Oh, in the Pact, probably. Yeah, the Pact most of all. In the Wizards, it's sort of like, being magical. It's like sort of like they're always mysterious. So it's sort of like, I'm not sure. He's not quite there yet with mages.
I mean, after the crossover, yeah. But I know Tegan's not in that one, but yes.
Yeah.
Silly mages. Well, is there anyone that he's particularly suspicious of regarding things outside of the party?
Oh, outside the party? Believe it or not, after the last, I guess it's kind of, I wasn't there I didn't see the meeting, but he tell us about the meeting when Alec found him in the city again in Fairweather. That was like, that sort of like set off a light bulb. It's like, what's going on?
Sorry. Chat.
Inside the party. I
Frank
saw
has
that
suspicions inside the party. Oh, so who are you suspicious of? Is it Ren?
No. No, actually, Ren, he's got like a to-do list with Ren, because it's like he saw his potential early, and it's like he wants to foster, especially when they're in the woods, because that's his wheelhouse.
Oh, he's such a daddy figure.
Oh,
In the sense that, hey, I've done this before. It's like,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have there been any events that Tegan wishes would have gone a different way?
Oh, geez. You wish you would have been able to convince Silver to take that stupid robe off and get outside the city.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
That, and probably he really regrets probably lopping the finger off in hindsight. But that was sort of like a old training kicks in, and it's like, all right, we got to get the job done, kind of thing.
Yeah. Awesome. More questions coming in. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna answer a couple from Steph regarding Elzaris, and then I'll kind of switch it up to do like everyone questions, and then go back to Steph's questions. Should I do Elzaris or Thaxel? I'll do Elzaris. Okay, so she asked, what are your current hopes for Elzaris's future, whether that be for weeks from now or in campaign? What are my hopes? That she doesn't die?
Isn't that all our hopes?
I mean, that's the main goal in any of my campaigns. I think this is okay, so it's kind of backstory related, and I don't think I've said anything to the group, so I'm not going to really spill a whole lot of secrets. But she is looking for somebody. She made a deal, and so she's hoping that she's able to deliver her part of the bargain in order to get what she's searching for. So that pretty much wraps up her hopes. And then by the end, maybe be a little more humble and not be like all, I need a servant to go prep my bath type thing. By the end of the campaign, yes. Okay. Who would you most like to see Elzaris interact with in the other Madbird campaigns? And who would Elzaris not like? I want Elzaris to interact with, probably before she went all traitory, probably Rhea, since she came from a bougie or a very rich background, even though she's not so on the evil side. She's chaotic neutral, but I think she's slowly trying to like go into chaotic good, but it's a work in progress. So probably would say Rhea. I'm trying to think who else. Is it Gimbal, right? That's the bugbear?
No, Gerbil.
Gerbil. I don't know. I just want to.
I get confused too, to be fair.
I do watch. It's just like I have it going, and then I'm also playing Animal Crossing on my TV. So I'm like,
naturally.
On your TV.
yes, this is what I do. And then who would I not like to interact with? That's hard.
We have a lot of characters.
We do, and I don't. She hasn't really been around a whole lot of people to figure out who she likes and I mean, that's a hard one for me to answer. I don't think she would like Thaxel very much. But other than that, I think she'd be willing to at least like hang out for a little bit to see how they are and then make her decision after that. So that's kind of a hard one for me to answer. Okay, she had two more. What are Elzaris' thoughts about the recent events in Obsidian Scar?
Hmm.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
Hitting me.
Had to bring it up. Had to bring it up.
Hitting me in the feels. So in case y'all don't know, Elzaris hasn't been around death. She's been in the same household all of her life until she ran away, and never had anyone close to her die, nothing like that. Like she's seen people like pass away in the town, like have funerals or whatever, but it was nothing intermediate, so there's no connection there. She's just like, it's life, whatever. But when Derek died the first time, like, oh yeah, whatever, you're joking, right? And we brought him back and it was fine, okay? And then now Peppino. Oh man, I think that's gonna change maybe a little bit of her outlook on life a little bit, because now she's taking these people for granted almost, like they're gonna hang around forever, we're gonna go on these crazy adventures, they're ridiculous, but they could be taken away in an instant, and you can't always bring people back. So I think she's going to be screwed up just a little bit, because she even reached out to her patron and patron didn't respond. So I don't know. I think she's going to be a little screwed up, or maybe it's become more serious now. Like I have to be more, maybe put more of an effort into knowing the people she's traveling with and like watching out for them a little bit more, trying to do what she can to keep all of her friends safe. I was so sad. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, Steph, I see you. What is the significance to Elzaris' eye patch? This one, me? Is it something we've yet to find out, or just a fun whim on your part as the player? It is not a whim, although I thought it was funny. I started building this character, and as I was building her arc and her backstory and everything, there were certain things that tied into it at first that I was like, oh, this would be badass if she had this eye patch. And this won't spoil anything. Her patron, well, let me back up. The person she's looking for was a follower of Talos, who is the god of storms and stuff. And there's something that ties in with that. I don't know if I should share it or not. Do I share it or do I not share it? I don't know.
Spoilers. I don't know.
Do you want spoilers or not?
Nah, if it's.
I mean, it's no. I think she's put it up often enough during a fight that it's. I mean, obviously she can see, and there's in the picture there's slits in that eye patch, so it's not like a full covered eye patch. It's like a bunch of. It looks like spikes or whatever, and there's like slits, so she can still see, but it's, anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it because it's been driving me nuts for 25 episodes. Followers of Talos wear eye patches, even if they don't need them. So she's never worn one at all, and now she does. So yeah, and there's more to that story, but that's all you're gonna get. I love playing the whole eye patch thing. So if one of the other characters from Obsidian Scar want to ask, they she probably would tell you. Okay.
I love that emote.
I love the emote. I didn't know it was a pirate. But to clarify, her patron is not Talos. I think Elzaris did mention it was the queen. She is called the Queen of Chaos. And there's a whole other story with that. But she wears the eye patch because of Talos. So tune in how many ever episodes it takes for her to reveal the rest of that story. I'm going to, Ren! Zach! Ren, you. I thought I already asked the rest of Ren's questions, but I saved some more. What does Ren really think of Gimbal? Family or not?
Well, he's definitely family. He's definitely family. He's obviously not super close family, but he's still family, so that means something. We are cousins. We know each other more than just like distant cousins. Like our families would have gatherings together and things like that in the spring and summer. So we know each other like you would know. Like we're not cousins that have never met, but we have seen each other probably. I think we said we were talking about it like probably twice a year. We would have seen each other growing up. So he's definitely family. He's not some crazy person that I don't really know. So he is crazy. And so there's parts of Ren that understands Gimbal because he's seen him grown up, so he knows how he works. Hence, when Silver and him got trapped, my first thought was, I'm sure Gimbal will blow a hole somewhere. Like I understand how his brain works. He's gonna just tinker and try and bust things open. But yeah.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to pull questions from chat. Does Ren think Regina is still alive?
I don't think Ren's had time to think about it. he's so focused on what's right in front of him that he hasn't even contemplated that idea. As a person, now that you ask that, she probably isn't. But Ren is not thinking that way yet.
Very interesting. Let's see. Does Ren think that Renarius has a crush on Regina?
It definitely seems as so from the first part, but I guess he hasn't been so motivated to find her as fast as we thought he would be. But probably, he still assumes he probably does. Though, didn't we find out in one of the episodes that she's like way older than him? Wasn't it like his nanny or something? Pretty much.
I mean, all I know is that I thought he had a crush on her.
Yeah.
But I must have missed that one. I don't get to watch the whole episode, but I think I missed if that was revealed. I'm getting the last couple of these questions copied over.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like a bunch of questions from chat coming through. I'm trying to make sure I'm like
scrolling down.
Going down, guys. It's going down.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Ooh, that's an interesting. Oh, I don't want to answer that one. Forget that.
Oh, you can always choose not to.
No.
Not to answer. Okay.
That sounds so wrong, Danny, in the way that you put that question with the finger of death, but it's hilarious. So.
Oh, good. I just copied that. Okay, and then let's see.
Finger of death.
I want you, Coffee Man. I'm working on it.
Jesus, guys, slow down just a tad just slow down.
Oh, you're good.
Just a little bit, guys.
You are good.
Yes, okay. The Dungeon Tomb. It can, everything that we stream here on Madbird Streams is on YouTube. If somebody would like to link the YouTube in chat, that would be awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to switch over, do a couple of group questions, and then kind of go back to individual questions. And I know I had a couple in Discord that I need to go back and also get, because Kim was kind enough to send some our way as well. And I want to get to hers too. So, okay, for everyone. Oh, this is hard. If you had to switch DMs, who would you want to have? I'm not sure who asked. I want to say Horsey asked that. I only copied the question, so I'm sorry I didn't copy the username. But if you had to switch, who would you have? Let's start with Zach.
I mean, if I had to switch, I'd probably say Dan, because he's the only other one that I know of that I know anything about. So I also sadly have not really watched any of the other campaigns to know the other DMs well enough. So
Well, so there's a link that I just posted in chats. It's to our YouTube channel if you would like to get caught up on all the other.
It's true. It's true. I should.
There's so many hours.
You're so right. This is hard.
Melissa, what would your answer be? You had to switch DMs.
I don't know if I really have an answer because I play under 3 different DMs on here so far. So,
and you have
is it okay? So they're like Dan, Kim, and Steph, and then soon to be Andrew. So like, would it be like to switch for good? Like just if I could pick one DM for the rest of my life or something?
Ooh, I could not answer that.
That's a hard question because they're all so great.
Yes, I think every DM has their own flavor that they bring to the table, and it's good to have variety, I think.
I played the 5th because I don't really have an answer to that question.
I will accept that. Frank.
Well, I would guess Vic would be probably, because I haven't played under her yet. And it's going to be very interesting. There's some things coming up, and it's going to be so I might get an opportunity to play with Kim. So this is going to be a new experience. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. See, I don't know about switching DMs, but I have played under Vic, Dan, and Kim, and I love how they all DM. Yeah. I had not had the pleasure of being DM'd by Steph, so I would definitely, that would be probably to answer that. I would like to, like if we did like a one shot or something, that would be cool. Looking at your Steph. Okay. Oh my God.
Coffee, slow down.
Coffee, I can't get all of these questions.
I'm picturing coffee with a legal pad with like 6 pages.
I feel like I need to like take a notebook out or start typing it in Notepad on my computer for you because.
I mean, if.
I know everybody is on point, Steph. Golly.
Everyone is. I just love that we have good DMs and we have good players on the stream because it's hard to find both. Okay. What's another? I had some questions for each of y'all. Where did I post those? Okay, Zach.
Yeah.
What is something your character would kill to learn, metaphorically or literally speaking?
Kill to learn.
Could be anything. Not necessarily like book learning, but like information, anything like that.
I think that's a good question. First thing that comes to my mind is I would like to know, apart from obviously if Regina's alive or not, but we're going to find that out eventually, I'm sure, is what's Rinka's role in the grand scheme of it all? Is she the high up? Like, as we joke in the stream, is she the end goal that we've just stumbled onto day 2 of our quest? Or is she just also a pawn in it all? but it is not as big of a fish as we think she might be.
Interesting. Okay, Melissa, what would your character or characters kill to learn? It could be all of your characters, or
Like as far as spells and abilities and stuff?
Doesn't matter. Just something. If you have like one character in mind, that's fine. Or if you want to answer for all your characters, but what is something they would kill to learn, information wise, learning wise, anything?
Mist would definitely want to be a better thief and stuff like that. So, M, with what she's got going on, she would want to learn more about the history of her people and dive more into that and stuff and figure out what she's going to do next. And Devanya, the person that she wants to meet up with, whether or not they're still alive, to see if they're still alive. I probably just like worded that completely wrong. Silvera, practicing, now that she's level 3, she can like practice and infusing magic into stuff. So like just working at that, and I'm actually pretty excited to be doing that because I've never had a character like do that before. So that'll be exciting.
Nice. And Frank?
And here we're going to hit the TVMA.
Marty, we didn't run it.
Wants to know who's fucking with his head. Somebody is, and that for him, I mean, his big stat is intelligence, and it's like he doesn't want anybody messing with his head. So that's really getting to him. And for Tegan, he wants, it's meta, but I'll just give you a hint. He desperately wants to know somebody's location, and it's not Regina, it's somebody else. So.
Ooh, interesting. That's I was gonna say I don't have anything for Elzaris, but that's exactly it. What you said, Frank. So I'll go with that. And then for Vaxel, it's where that stupid McGregor is. That's it.
Yeah.
Stupid McGregor. Let's see. So many questions. Okay, here's a good one. Zach, what is your favorite spell from each of your classes, or from Ren's class?
Well, yeah, I just have Ren. So far, Hunter's Mark is pretty nice, just because it adds the more damage. And that, sadly, as a ranger, I don't have a huge range of spells yet. So of what I have, probably that one. Probably speak with small animals, because then I could talk to Pip as well. But you know.
Oh yes.
Other than that.
Sweet. Melissa, favorite spell?
I would have. Okay, Devanya, I'm having a lot of fun with. Like, she's a sorcerer, so oh shoot, I feel like I need to take my book out. I have like all my stuff in my bedroom. Well, I have a book. I have a book right here, but
let's see. There's Fireball. There's.
I really love the higher level spells. Like, I'm really enjoying like Finger of Death, and I mean, I haven't technically used it yet, but like just being able to like throw a storm somewhere just because. So yeah. I don't know. I didn't specify a spell. I don't have her character sheet with me. I'd have to go to my bedroom. So sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
trying to think of my other characters. Silver hasn't really used anything. Golly. I like to use Thorn Whip on M because it helps me grab people, and that's a lot of fun. So that time when she just grabbed somebody that was coming out of the building or something and just like just to mess with them and then let them go, it was pretty great. So yeah, I think that that's all my brain can share.
That is okay. That is okay. Frank, what about you?
For Mortimer, the one that I am so itching to use and I haven't landed it yet, and I'm saving it for a special someone, is Mental Prison. It is it is, yeah, it really messes with you. And that's sort of like a guilty pleasure. He's saving it for the guy who's messing with him. All right, see how it feels, big guy. But for the one he likes to use is, and it's fun because with me and Erwin, it's like we're like the power twins with chain lightning.
Yes, you guys are like
yes
on it.
Chain lightning is great.
Yeah. And Tegan doesn't get to use spells, so he's just hides. That's his magical power. He just hides.
Oh, I was gonna say for Elzara, she wouldn't have any spells if it wasn't for her warlock class. But so Eldritch Blast, like, duh, that's a yes. And then Thaxel is a mix between Call Lightning and Speak with Plants, because that's always a treat. I just think that's hilarious. Okay, let me see. There was another one. Zach. Okay. I'm not sure if this has been asked or not. What was your inspiration behind Ren?
I wanted to do something. So I wanted to do a character that isn't my default. Growing up, I played World of Warcraft a lot, and my first character would always be a dwarf paladin or a dwarf like fighter. And then I just liked dwarfs for some reason. And then when I played my first D&D campaign a while ago, my first character was a dwarf paladin. And I liked him, but I didn't want to I felt like if I did another dwarf or another paladin, I would be just redoing the same character I had before. And so I wanted to do something different. I liked the idea of being a ranger, and then I knew that as a ranger, I would eventually get a beast to fight with me. And I wanted, spoilers, not actual spoilers, a wolf of some kind. And then I loved the irony of a tiny little gnome next to a giant wolf. And so that's why I kind of went with the gnome direction.
Amazing. Yeah. So are you playing them as you originally intended?
He's, like I said earlier, he's maybe not as he's not as humorous or happy-go-lucky as I think I originally pictured in my brain. But I at the same time, I like how he's coming around and being who he is, and kind of that he's friendly, but also has like a bit of a rough side that he doesn't want to trust everybody or doesn't want to befriend everybody right away, kind of thing.
Right. Sorry. Melissa.
Oh, that was your husband?
Yes.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, and by the way, I grabbed her character sheet and I totally forgot. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with Teleportation Circle with Devanya, so that has been fun.
That's amazing. And I'm sorry, I didn't copy the question or the username. So this is either from Horsey or from Coffee Man. I'm not sure, or both. How much effort might Devanya put into getting Erwin and Galithor together? Ooh.
Oh, the question everyone wants to know.
Ship them now.
Okay, I was not expecting that question.
You're welcome.
She's trying. I mean, she's not subtle about it. She sat Galithor down a couple of times and has, like, kicked him in the ass of, like, what are you doing? Why are you the way that you are? She does not believe any of his excuses. She understands, but she's like, dude, you need to be happy. She needs to be happy. Get your shit together. You know,
Men.
right? She'll keep working on them. And if she feels that Galithor is just still being who he is and still putting off something that, you know, I would rather, or she personally and Devanya would rather him just be like, okay, yes or no, instead of, you know. So I'd rather. I don't think she's talked to Aaron yet. I don't remember, but she's working on it.
Good to know. That's awesome.
I got
okay, let's see.
Shit or get off the toilet. Oh my god.
I wasn't even looking at, oh my god. Leaving now. Did Silva learn anything new from Jocelyn? Right?
Is that a loaded question? I feel like that's a loaded question. Is that in the biblical sense or is that in the regular sense? Because
I think it's in this type of sense.
Okay. Well, my imagination tells me a lot. Do I really have to say so?
You don't have to say anything if you
I don't want to
to
get descriptive on here, okay? Like, I could make stuff up, but she's learned a lot of things.
Woo! I mean, Danny said some new moves in the bedroom, maybe.
Yes, some new moves in the bedroom that she could use later on, like
I was going to
kiss
say,
and don't tell.
Cue the scene from Young Frankenstein, Madeline Kahn. Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found you.
But Silver did take a ring from him too, that you know, so it's like, if anybody remembered that. But
I did.
yeah, Steph did let me know the spells that Jocelyn knew, so a lady never tells. And that's that.
Alrighty.
Y'all are nosy. Jesus. You want
I am just the messenger.
Oh no, not you. It's just like,
true.
damn, you guys want to know what like happens in the bedroom? It's like, you've got imaginations.
I mean, Frank.
Yo.
This is on Mortimer. What do you see as being Mort's next food invention?
Oh dear. You know, I'm waiting for inspiration. I mean, it's funny how it first popped up. It was like, I was just picturing, because me and Erwin had a binge of like just studying this rune circle around this portal that he got stuck in. And it's like, well, what do people who are just like intensely studying for, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, what do? Well, they go and get pizza. So it's like, gotta go for this. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's funny. We're now working in a very interesting food exchange program with other campaigns and other Nana D's getting into the swing of things. So it's going to be interesting.
Great. It's so great. That's yes. The whole thing with the pizza Mwah. Has anything surprised you about role-playing Mort?
How difficult it is? Because he's sort of like, yeah, if you had a min-max or personified, that would be Mort. Constantly trying to figure out the angles, trying to figure out, the beautiful mind board in his room, trying to figure out and it's, it can be so frustrating because, you can get, especially with Dan, with his DM and his big picture, it's like so many false turns and so many blind alleys that just, it's like, oh damn, it's nothing what I thought it was.
So good at it, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
It's
oh my God.
it's frustrating. The more,
Damn it.
yeah. Just when I thought I found it figured out, everything changes.
This is very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. What does Mort think about everything that's been happening recently in Stormfall? So, Emil's vampire side, what?
Yeah.
Kaylin's breakdown, Aga being in the party, the roomkeeper, anything like that.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. What was the first one? Because
Emil's vampire side.
Oh, Emil. Oh, yeah. He just wants to. Yeah, he early on. He got
This was like way in the beginnings of
from our favorite boy, the Baron. He is.
I honestly had no idea. I'm sorry, because I have normally I have a Friday campaign that we just started getting back into. So I've been catching Stormfall a little more recently, but I had no idea Emil was a vampire and what. I'm looking at you. Episode 9, I wasn't around during the early days of Stormfall.
He really feels for Emil. He's going to support him either way he goes. And he just feels really bad about it. Now, as far as Kaylin goes, I was going to say, Steph, turn off your headset, but he is, because of his, his sometimes, light nature, but others, because of certain things, he is just absolutely crushed that she's depressed and that she's feeling the weight of the campaign. It's just, and it's the kind of thing where he doesn't, it's frustrating his intelligence because of an emotional thing, and he can't think of what to, because Kaylin's such a tough nut to crack, to get to the point where you say, listen, you gotta not snap out of it, but he's trying desperately to take some of the weight off, but it's not going to be. Kaylin just takes that weight so naturally.
She does.
So that's what really.
I do like Kaylin a lot. Oh, Steph.
Devania's gonna have to teach her some things about boundaries.
That would be interesting to see. That would definitely be interesting to see. So going back to the food thing, because Vic just asked, since we were still kind of on topic.
Okay.
What will Mort think of the Derek Bartson or the bacon breakfast sandwich?
I have to sample it. I didn't.
Apparently it's delicious.
It's interesting that I have inspired others in other campaigns to pick up the spatula.
Well, the Derek Bartson is that's the drink.
Okay.
It's the coffee tea.
I like how Vic found the trademark to put.
Yes, I know, because it totally is. It totally is. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple on Thaxel real quick. Okay. Oh, these are all really good. Okay, so is Thaxel going to personally seek out her revenge against Rhea, or will she just wait until fate brings Rhea her way? That's a really good question. So let's see. Whenever this happened, what was it, like a month? No, this was before the crossover, right before. She went back home, which she hasn't been to her home in, what was it, like 13 years or something. And it was to kind of even the playing field between her and Tassos, because it was either going to go one of two ways. It was going to be where they're still going to be together, or she was going to stab him in the back and then go find Rhea eventually. Or I don't know. I had like 20 different possibilities of it was the end of January. Yes, it's true. There was so many different scenarios I had going in my mind, and then I rolled a d20, and it rolled in the favor of, okay, I'm gonna just Axel's gonna keep going with Tassos or whatever. Aga performed the ceremony and it was beautiful, blah, 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 because he also kind of said everything that Axel wanted to hear as well. So that kind of also tied into it. So she's not going to go right away to seek revenge on Rhea. She's going to wait. She still wants to get revenge so desperately, but I think she's going to wait because she knows she's not ready for that just yet. So she's in that pissed off stage, and with all these recent talks from like Aga and stuff, like, you know, you got to get your emotions in check and blah blah blah. She's trying to learn to just to fight smarter, not immediately, type of thing. So she's gonna wait. Axel has been in her wolf form a lot. Is that because she prefers her wolf form over her true form? And if so, why? Good question. So I said earlier in the stream, and I'm not sure if it was mentioned in the earlier parts of the campaign. Axel's family was murdered right in front of her. Her whole clan was wiped out, and they had a pack of wolves as their allies in the forest. They came in to try to help clear up the rest of the invaders. They didn't get a lot of them, but Faxel, since she was still a kid, went to go be raised by the wolves, and they were dire wolves. So that's why she loves being in the dire wolf form, because it feels more like home. That was her second home. So yeah, she's a little more comfortable in her wolf form because that's the only other home she knows. And other than that, she's been by herself. So yeah, that's why she's in her wolf form. Dun, 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 dun. Does Axel really think that Aga considers her a best friend, or is she aware of Aga's opinions about making friends and is either choosing to think she's different or just going along with the ruse?
Ooh.
Or do you think that Aga has developed a soft spot for Axel, despite what Rob has said about the character? Ooh, how am I going to answer this? Yes, I think Aga has a soft spot somewhere, deep, 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 deep down. I don't think I would go as far as saying best friend. Like, I know she said that because she knows how Aga is. But, I mean, I don't think it's a ruse either. It's kind of hard. But she does think that Aga's really the only close friend that she has, like really close friends, because Kyr's is kind of all new people again. We have, Kim bringing in this changeling who she's still trying to figure out, and they've already butted heads. Aga's gone, and she's felt abandoned again, but she knows that he's going to come back. Who else is in there? Marcon, she still doesn't know a whole lot about him. Maeve, she has no earthly idea who Maeve is all about. So I think she's because everything is changing and it was changing so suddenly, she's latching on to the only thing that is familiar. And so, yeah, she's like, no, you're going to be my best friend now, because why not? But I think Aka has definitely, after all the many talks and in the ceremony that he performs for Baxel and Tasso, it's like, come on, he has a soft spot. And I wish Rob was on here to agree with me, because that's what he would agree with me. He's not here, so haha. Okay, I'll do one more for Baxel and then we'll move on. There's so many really good questions. I know we're not going to get to all of them, but I'll respond later to at least my portion. I want to get y'all some time. Will she tell the group about the marriage? I haven't decided yet. Probably not. I don't know. I'm going to say probably not right now, but that could change. That could change. And that was Kim sent that over. Okay, Zach. I have so many notes all over the place. What is the one thing that your party does that just annoys the hell out of you? That's kind of one for everyone, but is there one thing? It doesn't have to be a person, but like, is there one thing that the party does that just annoys the character?
Annoys the character.
Yeah, so something that Ren would find annoying.
Probably. I think Ren would probably more. He probably doesn't love that we all disagree about almost everything we should do. He would probably like a more straightforward plan that just everybody goes, sounds great, let's do it. Where we kind of all kind of are shooting from the hip here and there, and or doing our own idea of what we want to do. And that's probably something that drives him nuts. If I were to pick something, I guess.
Awesome. Melissa, same question.
I know definitely for Devanya, it's how everybody lies to themselves and each other.
Yeah.
She picked up on that pretty quickly, and it just annoys the piss out of her, and that's why she's just like, why, like, you're all like stupid, like, come on. like what is, like, why can't, like, you she doesn't understand it. Just want to shake everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Silvera. Recently, probably kind of how. No, I don't think it's like a party thing. I think it's just I don't think I really have anything for Silvera. Mist, I don't think she has anything right now, considering I think we're just now starting to somewhat agree on something and get along for the first time since we started Court of Thorns. So yeah, I'll just stick with the Devanya thing.
That sounds good. Frank.
For Tegan, one word answer. Focus. It's like, come on, people. We got a job to do.
How many side quests are too many?
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough for Mort, but I think maybe because I think I flashed on something. It's like maybe more just wants the group to be more of a group. We all sort of just like, especially everybody just goes to their corners at times, and it's just like
You need like a good family bonding moment.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I honestly don't know what. I mean, if I had to choose something annoying, I don't know. I mean, I would say that Peppino kept like taking us into other side quests and then he died. So I can't really be mad about that anymore. So like he's dead. I'm annoyed that he died. Is that a thing?
Mhm.
And then Thaxel. She's annoyed that she keeps getting called out for her shit.
They're like, let me live my life, guys.
Just let me. What do you mean there's something wrong? I do need to pull this in real quick since it was kind of on point with what we were talking about earlier, because Coffee Man asked if Tassos had sided with Rhea, would Thaxel have killed him? It was all about the dice roll.
Oh.
It was an option, yes. But also again, like meta, if he would have, it would have gone either okay, rage, or I can't be with you. Like, we can't do this anymore. Like, if you're going to choose her over me, even though she betrayed me and we have this, like, peace out. So, like, it was like a tree branch. So you had this, and then depending on which role, it could have gone like 20 different routes. So it was a possibility. Okay. We have so many more questions. But I think I'll ask a couple more, and then if y'all want to later, like respond, like answer them on Discord, I'll kind of add the ones we didn't really get to, and then we can answer them on there. Or otherwise, we may be here all night. There's so many good questions.
Steph's like, it's only 11:30.
What are you talking about? So, there's two
Go to
kinds of
one.
people.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock. It's only 1.
Yes, it's only 10:30 here.
I know. Yeah, you and me, Melissa, are in the same time zone. 10:30 is like a code that I could definitely use.
It's only 9:30 here, so I'm fine.
Go away.
You've been effectively overridden.
That awkward silence. We'll look at daggers.
That's a showing. Okay. Ooh, this was a good one for everybody. So, Zach, we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
What's been your favorite surprise in your game that your DM has introduced? Like plot twists, character reveals, etc.
I really enjoyed that we ran into Kring again. Whether that was originally her plan, Steph's plan, I don't know. But I like that he became kind of a key plot point, and even more so, I'm really interested to see what happens with Renarius and Kring's spell book. I don't know if it was a surprise or a plot twist per se, but I was very surprised that we were able to convince now I can't remember her, Shanad, to actually not trust Rinka and want to not go back to the college. Thinking about trying to have her go see her mom and try and convince her that she's not safe. And in my mind, leading up to that conversation, I was like, this is a hopeless conversation. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised to see that change.
Awesome. Steph said Sanid. I don't know.
Shanad. She's
Shanad.
responding to me saying probably I don't remember the name.
Oh, I was like, what's Sanid? Shanad. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Mm.
Sorry, Steph. Melissa, same question. What's been your favorite surprise in your game that your DM has introduced? You can choose one character or all of them, since you have 20.
For Emersina, Inverness, for sure. Like her home city where she's actually from.
Yes.
Like that was, I was so excited. I was like on the inside, trying not to scream on stream and stuff because I was just like literally jumping through my skin, just like so freaking excited. God, that was like so cool because her initial backstory didn't have a whole lot of filler, and then I started filling things in, and then I was like, here, Dan, you've got control of this, blah blah blah, do what you want. And so watching the different steps unfold throughout Stormfall to her getting her wings, which was like freaking awesome, and then finding this city that she's from and just like, oh my god. So that has been really exciting. For Devanya, probably seeing one of her family members in her dream. Just kind of watching everybody, I guess. I don't know. I don't have much for her. For Silvra, Jocelyn, of course. That was a surprise to me.
Yeah.
So I have to admit something. She's the first character that I've never had a character do it in game before.
Oh.
She's my first character that's ever. So it was interesting and it was unexpected, but and then the
Axel was the same for me, but
the wolves and the drow and the wolves and stuff like that were pretty cool. And yeah, it's so much stuff. Like I'm just excited for the Forsaken to just keep going and going.
Yeah. Me too. Frank, what about you?
Stormfall, it has to be that friggin' skull. Dan, you magnificent bastard, you.
Goddamn skull. Oh my god. Skulls are the bane of our existence in Stormfall, okay?
Yeah.
Like
Apparently a lot of stuff is.
Yeah. Everything we touch is cursed. Oh, look. A wine goblet. Yeah, it's cursed, yeah. Not so much yet. We haven't really bumped into any back me up. I don't think we've run into any huge reveal surprises yet out of Forsaken. But looking forward to it, Steph.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you're still like early on into your campaign.
That comes in like day 5 of the story, okay?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we've had 2 long rests, period.
That's insane.
Yeah, we're
a busy bunch.
Yes, y'all are. It's
savoring it.
Y'all are the party of side quests.
Party of Psychos.
It's so great.
Oh, I'm really enjoying the roleplay moments in the Forsaken.
I agree.
Like actually having conversations with each other's characters and stuff and actually like talking with each other. Like that has been really, really cool.
Jefferson. Okay, Vic, that would be my answer for Elzaris, is all those Jefferson. No, that's more chat. I am totally good. Me and Jefferson were tight, okay? We were cool. He helped my party out. Because it was Dan, Emilio, and me for session 0, and yes. Yes, but as far as Obsidian Scar, the reveal, like, my biggest, what was the question again? Favorite surprise. So far it's been the vision she had in that temple that we raided, with the blue orb and whatnot. That's been my favorite for Obsidian Scar, because, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. That's all like foreshadowing and shit, and I don't know what's. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And then Thaxel's, or for Kira's Lament, motherfucking Ray and her betrayal, like,
yeah, that was
like
huge.
That scarred me. I don't think it hit me until like 5 minutes after that whole thing, because I was so confused when it was happening. And then before you know it, I was like, oh my God, she just stabbed me in the back. Rhea just stabbed Axel in the back. And then she got to meet McGregor, and she knows that McGregor's a motherfucking angel now. Like, oh, Vic, you're okay. You're okay. But it was so unexpected. And moments like that is why I love playing this game. Like, oh my God, it was so good. And so just, I mean, Axel's ruined now, but I thought it was fantastic.
Weird how that works.
Yes. I mean, I know we've talked about it like in our own little group chats, but I didn't sleep well that night. I was just like, what happened? Is like
you gotta watch it back 5 times to like figure it out. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand what just happened. And then the next day I'm like, it's a game. Axel, now what is she gonna do? What is this gonna do? Like, because I know there are some groups that it's just like, and I know we, like this community, we're fortunate enough to have people understand that you have this amazing game that you get to play, and you're also in reality. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's, and there's a line, and sometimes people confuse the two, but I think we're good about having a good balance and good about separating the two. So, I'm glad that we have good trusting groups too, and open communication and stuff like that. So Axel was very dramatic, and she will continue to be dramatic forever. Okay.
I did think of something. Thank you, Danny.
I was going to say there's still a couple more. I mean, I know there's a lot more, but are y'all good for another 20 minutes and then we'll wrap it up? Or
sure. Yeah, I'm good for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. So
no, that's fine. Like,
but yes, no, I got what you're
saying. Yeah.
Okay, so Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
You're fine. Ren's such a baby, and much like Frank was saying, being new, he has a very weak backstory. So I don't have a lot of great insights into it for you.
That's okay.
Working on it.
That's okay. I mean, they have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
And the more that they get played, and the more that you go along the story, they're going to have more character development.
Yep.
I think there was one. I think this is one of Coffee Man's questions. Does Ren relate more to wolf or squirrel? I'm not sure what that means.
I know what it means, Nori.
Okay.
I don't know if this will answer the question as best for it. Did you say it was Coffee or Danny?
I want to say Coffee submitted that question.
I'm not sure if this totally answers the question per se. But for Ren, he's always loved wolves, and like that is he's intrigued by them. But he loves Pip, his squirrel, because that's more of his long-term. That's more of his like childhood friend compared to a wolf. Like it's just Pip's been around for a long time, but he also doesn't. He doesn't plan on having Pip fight because that's he would die instantly. But I think characteristically wise, if that's what your question is, Coffee, probably inside he relates more to the spirit of a wolf than the crazy sporadic mind of a squirrel, if that's the question you're asking.
Very good, very good. How many sessions has Forsaken done? Is it
I don't even know.
10 or 14? I just saw our title on there is 4. Okay, so y'all are on 14. Okay, so this is good. For your PCs that you've played 30 or less sessions with, so that would be for you, Zach. What is the biggest difference between what you had? Well, never mind. We kind of already covered that. Sorry, I didn't read the question. We did cover that earlier. So many questions. About what is one thing your character fears, Zach?
I think I impromptu didn't have it written down beforehand, but I think I decided on the session when we broke into Regina's apartment. I think Ren is scared of spiders.
Oh, yeah.
He hung out in nature. I don't think he has it's an irrational fear. But as of right now, that's the only thing on my list of what well, I guess he also fears for his sister in the current situation that if Rinka really is possibly like wanting to go check on his family and maybe do, who knows. He's fearful of that and how that affect his sister.
Ooh, good answer. Melissa, what about you? What do they fear?
For Silvera, it's being returned to her original hometown. For Devanya, it's being in a relationship. For Emersina, it's a fear of failure. For Mist, it's a fear of dying.
Okay, wow. Holy cow. Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry. It got deep.
Just felt that in my bones. I got chills. Frank, what about you? What do they fear?
Probably the guy who was messing with his head, because what do you do against that?
That's true.
For Tegan, he probably has a slight, believe it or not, slight fear of mages, because logistically they can pretty much counter what he does, but in game, the guy that he's looking for finds him before he can find him. You know what I'm saying? Tega's looking for somebody, and he's hoping that guy doesn't find him before I can find him.
Yeah, that would freak me out too. Just trying to think. I don't think Elzaris has. No, I take that back. I think her biggest fear would be, so she can't return home. So I guess she's afraid that she won't ever see her mom again. I think like she's trying to make peace with that right now, but she's afraid that she won't be able to see her again. and her reactions to certain things. And then Thaxel is the failure of not avenging her family's death, because she already thought she failed when she did that whole chat with Tassos. That's her biggest fear, though, is not being able to finally get her revenge and live up to her promise and avenge her family.
I would also add, after I finished, I thought of probably Ren's actual biggest fear, apart from the danger of his sister, is failure in succeeding at just being a good ranger, which why that is his biggest fear is will to be developed down the road someday, but that's his biggest
fear. Juicy. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens now. Ooh, because I don't get to watch Stormfall as often, or I've been trying to get to like touch base with like Court of Thorns, but I have a Saturday group that we are trying to work on our future campaign stuff. But Forsaken, I've been able to tune in, and I'm catching like little juicy things here and there. It's making me just excited. Okay. This is for the Forsaken crew, so all of y'all. If y'all took down the school bad guys, would you become NPCs to fill out the trackers or traders? I'm not sure which one this is. I think trackers. Does that make sense?
Teachers?
Killed all the college guys, bad guys. We would what? What was the second part?
Would you become NPCs to fill out the trackers? I think that's what I meant to say. Teachers, sorry.
Oh, hell no. Not for Silva. That's a big fat nope.
Ren probably wouldn't either. He probably doesn't feel like he has anything he could teach.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Guys will have to do your own hiring of teachers. Thank you very much. They wouldn't like us very much anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Tegan would, because Tegan's sort of like, I've sort of fallen into this profession, and I'm not totally in love with this profession, but it is what it is. And I don't know if, like with the girl we caught in the end, it's like I don't want to know if I want anybody to help anybody else go down this path. You know. So, although there is, in some things he thinks you can do some good if the talents are focused in the right direction.
Very nice, very nice. Steph had asked this in regards to the crossover that we did a couple, or 6 months ago, because time is irrelevant right now. What did Thaxel think of the Stormfall crew from the second crossover? And I kind of want to add to this question with Mort and Devanya, right? And how they were feeling after that. So I think as far as Thaxel is concerned, because this is the second time that they're meeting up together, she's still very wary of the group as a whole. I know, there was so much that happened during that crossover.
It was a lot. I barely remember that day, to be honest, because
I barely remember. Yeah, I do. I mean, there's a couple of things that still stick out, like the big reveals in the room, and with Kaylin and Aga doing his thing, and the whole banishment of Rain. I felt so bad, but oh my Lanta. I think Thaxel's a little more, she's cautious of Devanya, but I think they would be really good friends if they were to hang out a little bit more. I think they would just have that understanding that, kind of, to me, I think she got it as like Devania's going to be there to fuck shit up, and Thaxel's going to like protect her group. So you got like the two people who are willing to just, like
Go ahead.
fight.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, to protect their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they would get along really well. So I would kind of love to see them meet up and actually talk like later on down the road. She's totally cool with Kaylin now since they got to like swim and stuff together. They like go find stuff, like find whatever in the pool of acid. So she's totally cool with Kaylin. I think that's one of the main reasons why she's okay with Aga. Like Aga has his own stuff that he's going to go do now. Even though she's like, okay, you're your own person. I don't have any like control over you. But she can trust Kaylin to watch Aga's back for Thaxel. So that's that was just pretty much my big takebacks from that crossover. Is now I know who's got the groups back, and Galathor too, come in and clutch with that Davizar coin, man.
For real.
So she's totally okay with Galathor now, 100%. Like, we're okay now. But what about Mort and Devanya?
Mort's just like, I'm trying to find the right word to describe it. Confused, disappointed. It's like, because with Mort and Kaylin and the group, it's like, oh God, we got a big baddie who's bent on world destruction, and here's Lament worried about, ooh, I got to get this shiny thing, and then oof, I'm bamming out. Bye, I got what I needed. See you later. World's gonna end, but that's okay. I got my shiny.
That was our whole goal, was to go shopping. Like
little goblins.
Thaxel had no desire whatsoever to go into that tower because of, I don't know, the very like first few episodes, or whenever we were in that town at the very beginning of Cures. One of the older characters had flown up to the tower, touched it, and it messed him up for a little bit. Like, she saw that even just going to the roof would screw with you. She's like, I have no desire to go anywhere near that. And she hates Vanguard as a whole anyways. Because she did that town a favor. Thank you very much. The hero that they killed was a douchebag. Okay. I could go on forever, but he was a bad guy, and the evil party killed the bad guy. It's fine. And now she has a bad whatever. So no desire.
I just see the story for people going through, like, Dawn of the Day of the Dead, fighting all the zombies, and Kier's Lament's back there. Oh, look at the shoes in that store window. Let's get them. It's like, hello, we're fighting something.
Oh my God. That would be interesting. Yeah.
Laura, fix comment. Damn straight.
Get those shoes and that part and that cup. Yeah, we don't care. We're just there to loot. We just need the loot. I don't know, Melissa, what about you? Because your first like thing that Devanya does is, who are you? I'm gonna kill you.
That's her old Devanya coming out versus her new Devanya. So she was actually pretty curious about the Cures Lament group. Like, she was fascinated by everybody. They're kind of weird, but she kind of, she's curious. I think I agree with you with her and Thaxel. They would get along.
Yeah.
I think once the general, like, oh, hey, how are you doing, blah, 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 have the walls come down a little bit and the awkwardness go away, like, and they have a conversation, they would get along really well. Marcon, she's kind of curious about, I don't know, she hasn't seen much of his type.
Me neither.
Amari, she really likes Amari. And I think it was the sole fact of not just the crossover as a whole, but like at the end of it, when her and when Devanya and Amari were talking, and Devanya was trying to give her a figure and of Nana D, and she was like, no, you know, just keep it to remember me by, and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, wow, like that's powerful. Like, you know, trying to have somebody remember you by something. So she thinks you guys are kind of a pain in the ass, but like a pretty kick-ass group.
Yes.
I mean, and also to kind of piggyback off of, I think somebody asked if Devanya had gotten the finger of death, like at the beginning of the crossover, if she had like finished it and stuff and wasn't stopped, like who it would have targeted. If you guys remember, she was pointing at Mayriel, and she's kind of iffy about Mayriel.
Mm-hmm.
She's not sure what she thinks. Well, because she's never seen an Eladrin bard in that kind of group setting. That's weird to her. So she had her finger pointed at Mayriel, so she definitely would have done that to her.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I wanted to get to some of Kim's questions before we wrapped up. Frank, because some of these have been answered. So let me see. We did that. Will Mortimer share his peeper pockets?
Of course. In fact, we gotta retcon that. That side experience. Yeah. Yeah, they'll come in handy.
Yes. Okay. And what is his opinion about the first and second Nana D persona he met?
Now is she referring to the second one being the one in the one timer, the one shot. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to say that he sort of like maybe figured out that the second one was more the real Nana D than the first one. Same bellicose, same flamboyance and just out and out craziness, but there was something special about the second one. You know, there was more, I guess his interpretation would be there was more heart in the second one than there was in the one he met in the crossover.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I know she had asked me how like Thaxel was feeling about the new Amari. I'm not too sure yet because they butted heads I think a couple times. And now that she's gone like evil Kaylin, I don't know. I think Thaxel's still trying to figure out what Amari wants to be and how she wants her personality to be. Because I know she's feeding off of how the rest of us act. And so I think she's just kind of waiting to see. She's trying to peg her. So I don't know. I'm still trying to like get used to everything. And how's she feeling about the shift in the group dynamics, especially after the crossover? Man, I don't know. It's going to be we are a work in progress. You just had you had Marcon come in, you had Nana D come in, you had Rhea bounce, you had Maeve come in, and Aga's now gone. And we're about to get Melissa's new character in next, or whenever we do Cures again. So, like, this is a lot of change for Thaxel, and she's not used to, like, there's so much change happening at once. So I think she's going to be a little overwhelmed, but also taking a step back to kind of just watch and gauge on what's happening. And there was one more she had asked me. Let's see, how does okay, so I'll answer this just real quick because I kind of touched on it. So Kim had asked, how does Ilzaris feel about the lack of response to her question on Sunday from her patron? And then I kind of touched base on that a little bit. I kind of just answered her question that there's no way that she can bring Peppino back and that he's actually really dead, and she's going to have to confront those feelings in next week's session. It's gonna be interesting. I have way too many scenarios go through my head right before a session, and they never pan out. So just kind of, I have to just kind of go with how the session is moving. So we'll see. And then Thaxel and Elzara seem to have similar quirks regarding collecting items. Do all of our characters share the same traits? They don't. Do they? Thaxel likes eyeballs. Melissa, were you in that chat when we were discussing the eyeball thing? I don't remember.
I didn't want the eyeball thing.
It was, I think Vic and I don't know who I was talking to about this, but it has segue into Thaxel now collects eyeballs. But Elzaris just likes money. I don't think that's more of a collecting thing. She's just used to the rich lifestyle. So,
in that case, Divania will have something to give to Aga to give to Thaxel then.
Eyeballs! Oh, okay. I would say we'll do one more question and then wrap it up for tonight, because there's no way I can get to the rest of these questions and give them a good, solid response. Okay, so this is going to be for everybody. What has been the most meaningful moment in the campaigns so far for each of your characters? And we'll start with Zach. So for Ren, even though I know it's only been like 14 episodes, but and if you have another like game, what's been the most meaningful moment?
I think so far for Ren, slash I think just me actually as a player was coming up with the logic that convinced Shanad to trust us and not trust Rinka. Because as I play, sometimes I'm watching everybody else role play, and I'm like, man, you guys are so smart at thinking of things. How do I think of things ahead of time? And then, like in that moment, thinking of the logic and it clicking for her, and then also remembering that she had the stone and asking her to give it to me, and she gave it to me. I think that whole conversation in my head, I was just like, oh man, I'm actually succeeding at something great. So. Probably that.
Awesome. What about Melissa? Most meaningful moment in the campaign so far for each of your characters?
Totally don't have a box full of tacos that I just brought over here.
I mean, I saw that, but no judgment.
Just like pause for a second.
No judgment at all.
For Silvra, it would have to be the time in jail with Gimbal and revealing her secret to him. That was a very, very big deal for her, because she risked her life basically sharing that, literally. Stefania, probably probably the crossover. Doing the deal with when Aga was like, attack me, blah blah blah, you know, and stuff like that, doing the thing with the whole thing, and I can't remember the details, but it was pretty epic, and doing fireball and shit, and it was like, yeah. So she they reminded her of like battle buddies, almost kind of like Emersina. Oh Jesus.
So many.
I know, and she's the one that I've had the longest, so there's been a lot more stuff. I would have to say, going through all of the changes that we've gone through as a group, going through Ormia and all of that stuff and dealing with that, and, you know, just trying to be there for each other even when we're far away from each other. Like, even if we're not physically together as characters, like, because she's completely away from everybody else, but like, we're there for each other. Like, we would drop everything, and just kind of that sentiment. Missed probably when they were bringing her back. I would have to say that was probably, it was my favorite so far, because it was unexpected, and I fully was not expecting for the rest of the group to try to revive her or bring her back or anything. So it was like, oh, you guys do care, maybe just a little. I'm like, oh no, we just want to use you for your skills. Okay, but I still love you too.
I mean, especially with that campaign still kind of like the Forsaken, it's still like brand new and still trying to like get their feet wet and figure out what they're doing. Like, your party members totally brought you back, and
yeah, I know why they brought me back, and it's not because they love me or anything, but like,
I mean, it's a selfish reason, but they still brought you back.
But it's still, they still brought me back, and they didn't have to, and that was a real shocker for me, not just as a character but as a player. I was like, what? She's a dick. Why would you want a dick in your group? Like, shit. Like, she's like,
she's resourceful.
Okay.
She has skills.
It was great. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad your character didn't die. Too much. It's too much. Frank.
All right. For Tegan, it's still early, but this is the kind of thing you'll never get him to admit it. So don't ask. When he saw Gimbal and Silvra out of prison, because he knows what that's like, and and it was, it's sort of like that tough choice for him. It's like, in his brain, it's like it's going to be really hard to get these people out, and it's like he was so relieved, but he's not going to show that. He's not going to, like, sort of the thing like when your kid does something wrong, it's like, you're an idiot for doing that, but I'm glad you're back. For Mort, there is a 1 and a 1A.
Oh, good.
Number 1 is when Blueberry reunited with her master.
Oh, yes.
That was
God,
that hit me in the feels. Oh my God.
I almost cried.
That was like, the whole, like,
finally,
man,
finally,
this is finally a good, this is what we're fighting for, and this makes everything worth it, kind of deal. And the 1A is when, towards the end of the whole time travel bubble thing, when Mort realizes that it's Kaylin's mom, and she's pregnant with Kaylin, and in his brain, it's like the reason is because his brain was thinking, time travel paradoxes. I can't let these two people get near each other because God knows what can happen. So what if people don't know what happens is Mortimer turns the mother to look, so she's looking over his shoulder out the portal to Kaylin, and just sort of hugs his mother. And then, oh no, it's the other way around. I'm sorry. I make sure that her mother is facing the portal, and I successfully get out of the portal and I hug Kaylin, making sure she's looking over my shoulder.
I remember that. I
did.
It's
like, it was just like, sort of like to let her know that's your mother, and preventing her from resisting the urge to go through to the portal to the other side.
You're making Steph cry again. How rude. Oh.
I'm sorry, Steph, but it was a great moment.
No, it totally was. And I think that was like one of the few, or maybe it was a recap that I was watching or something. But yeah, no, that was probably the sweetest moment ever. And Blueberry too, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm last for that one. Most meaningful moment. Oh God. I know it's still early for Elzaris. I would have to say, I mean, there's a couple, but when Linnick makes Elzaris her to-go cup, that was, I mean, that was amazing and really sweet. Also, oh man, there's been so many like things here and there that are like sticking out. The to-go cup for sure. Derek and Alex kind of becoming friends, oh man. Yeah, there's several. Bonding over bondage, yes. Whole Jefferson thing, like there's so much. But yeah, no, still like the early stages for her. Faxel, there's way too many. Oh God, most meaningful. I would probably have to say, at least because it's the most like recent thing, is Aga and his talks with her to get her to understand, like, because she hasn't had a parent figure or in so long, and like she's in adulthood, but she's still like she's all over the place. But anyways, like Aga's like bringing her down to earth, like get your emotions in check, like having all of these like really good talks that you should have had growing up, but she didn't. And so now she has a friend telling her, and then also offering to do a ceremony that was just completely out of the blue. And it was so sweet. But yes, that's probably it. So yeah, that's, and yes, Danny, I'm getting with Dan on that soon. Linnick's gonna make a self-filling to-go cup, so she'll never have to refill it again. Okay. So with that wraps up another one of our Mad Bird Squawks, which is our D&D therapy for the week. Questions for our players and their characters, and getting to learn more about everything going on in the many campaigns we have going on the stream. So yeah, you've been watching Maverick Squawks, which happens on Wednesdays. Thursdays we are off, chilling. Fridays is when Stormfall happens. And all of our campaigns and everything on the stream run at 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. There are going to be 2 coming up that will run at an earlier time, but once they are live, we will let y'all know. So Friday is Stormfall, and that's with Frank and Melissa. They have characters in that campaign. Saturday is DM'd by Kim, or D20 TV. She has the campaign called Court of Thorns that runs on Saturdays with Melissa in there. And yeah, no, I believe that's it. Sunday, you have the Obsidian Scar with me as a player and Victoria as our fabulous DM, who doesn't kill characters whatsoever in there. And that runs on Sunday nights.
Totally safe.
For now.
For now. It's fine. It's fine. And then Mondays we have the Forsaken, which is DM'd by the lovely Steph that's in chat. And you have all of the other players minus me. You have Zach playing Ren, Frank playing Tegan, and Melissa playing Silvra. There's so many characters.
So many characters.
Did I get them all? Yay. And then Tuesday nights, it's our All Evil campaign, Kier's Lament, which I play Thaxel. It's evil. Beware. That's it.
They do things.
We do things. We steal shit. We kill people. But we're not murder hobos. Do not get us confused. Please. Thanks. So yeah. That's... That's all of our shows for this week. You can also find us on our Discord channel. We're a pretty awesome bunch. We're delights, y'all. Come hang out with us.
Yeah.
It's like a desperate plea.
Yep.
Please, we're
Just
so
be my
close.
friend. But only if you're cool. Okay. Thanks for the raiders that came on earlier. Shout out to y'all, and the anonymous gift subs that went out. Y'all rock. And other than that, we will see y'all back Friday for Stormfall at 10 p.m. Eastern. All right, everyone. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next time. And thank you, everyone, for joining.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.